Okay, now my student, as I promised you in the last part of this session, that we are going to proceed looking on the osmoreceptors. And remember, these osmoreceptors, they are found within the types or classification of the sensory receptor based on the type of the stimuli. And we have this osmoreceptor. So these osmoreceptors, they contribute to regulate fluid balance in the body. They are responsible for regulating the fluid balance within the body. That is, we are talking about osmoregulation and modulate osmolarity in the kidney. So iko responsible kwa ajili ya kuregulate osmoregulation, that is controlling amount of salt and water within the body. These osmoreceptors, they are there for that purpose. And here, my student, you have to know that the location of these osmoreceptors, they are found within your kidney. And within your kidney now is where now different kinds of organ, that is, we are talking about the adrenal hormone and so on. They are produced, that is antidiuretic hormone. They are there for regulating amount of salt and water within your body. So, and also, these osmoreceptors, they are found also within your hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is a part of the brain. So, iko kwa ajili ya kuregulate amount of water and amount of salt within your body. That's why here we are saying that to contribute, regulate fluid balance in the body. That is osmoregulation. And when we are saying that osmoregulation, meaning that the balancing amount of salt and water within the body. So now, after we have seen all of those osmoreceptors and the location and the function, now also my student, I would like to take you through another kinds of this sensory receptor based on the type, and this is electroreceptor. It is called the electroreceptor. So now we have to know what is this electroreceptor and the function of this electroreceptor. So now let's move together. Here we are saying that these electroreceptors detect natural electrical stimuli. Natural electrical stimuli, not artificial, it is a natural electrical stimuli that is found within your body. So now we are saying that they are almost found in aquatic, on amphibious and amphibious animals, because salty water is a better conductor of electricity than air. So tukija kuongelea hii electroreceptor, tunasema kwamba zinapatikana kwa hawa organism wanaoishi kwenye aquatic environment. Ndio ambao wana hii electrical receptor kwa ajili ya kudetect any kind of electrical impulse which are found around them. So now tumesema pia zinapatikana ndani ya hawa amphibians. Here we are talking about frog, because frog also is an organism that is living within the aquatic environment, has that ability to live in aquatic environment. So now we are saying that these amphibious animals, because salt water is a better conductor of electricity than air. So kuliko wale organism ambao wanapatikana kwenye terrestrial environment, this organism they use this electroreceptor to detect if there is a presence of salt in the water that is balanced within their body. They use this electroreceptor. So now we are saying that the ampullae of Lorenzini are the example of electroreceptor in shark. So my student, when you are moving further in your university level, you are going to see the structure of shark and the function of this ampulla of Lorenzini. But here you have to know that this shark, they have electroreceptor which detect to any kind of electrical stimuli. And this structure, it is called the ampulla of Lorenzini. So pale ambapo patakuwa na shida yoyote imetokea kwenye yale mazingira au aquatic environment, pale ambapo patavamiwa na any kind of an organism, so they use this amplifulelenzini so that to bring the shot to those organisms. So hiyo inaact kama defense within their body. So now we are saying that some terrestrial organisms such as arachnid, cockroach and bees are known as the electroreceptors. Pia we have an organism which are living in the terrestrial environment, that is on the land. They possess these electroreceptors. And a good example here, we have the arachnids. Arachnids also, they have this electroreceptor. And also we have cockroach. They have these electroreceptors for detecting the electrical changes within the environment. And also we have bees are known as, they have also this electroreceptor. So my student, that is the end of the classification of the organism based on the type of the stimuli. So now my student, I would like to take you through another classification of this sensory receptor, and this based on the location of the stimuli they detect. Based on the location of the stimuli they detect. Kwa maana kwamba pale ambapo stimuli inatokea, hizi electroreceptor, these receptors they develop so that to provide an appropriate changes or to provide appropriate response to that stimuli. That's why here we are saying that this one is the classification of the receptor based on the location of the stimuli that they detect. So now based on the location of the stimuli they detect in the environment, we have 3 kinds of receptor. So tunazo aina 3 za hizi receptor, na ya kwanza kabisa hapa tunayo inaitwa interoreceptor. Interoceptors. Yeah, interoceptors. That is the first kind of these kinds of receptor. And also we have exteroreceptors. And also we have proprioceptors. All of those, they are kinds of receptors based on the type of stimuli that they detect. So my student, here you have to notify or you have to distinguish between this classification of receptor, and you have to be very careful because these questions can appear in multiple choice. It can appear in true and false and so on. So you have to be very careful to distinguish them. So now let's begin looking on the first type of these kinds of classification of sensory receptors based on the stimuli that they detect. And this one, it is called the interoceptors. So what is this now? Here we are saying that these interoceptors, they are receptors detecting stimuli which originate from inside of the body, especially from the internal organs and the gut. So here's the interoreceptors. These are the kinds of the receptors which are found within your body. In the internal environment of an organism is where now these stimuli they are located. So what are the function of these stimuli? What is the function of these receptors? And what kind of stimuli that these receptors they detect? Here we are saying that, for example, we have stomach pain stimulus. That is the stomach pain stimulus. So now is detected by the pain receptor, that is nociceptors, and blood pressure changes stimuli is detected by the pressure receptors, that is baroreceptors. So tumesema kwamba hii interoreceptors is the receptors which are found within the body of an organism. For example, here tumesema kwamba tunayo hii stomach pain. Mtu unakuwa unahisi maumivu ya tumbo. Sasa yale unawezaje mpaka ukadetect hapa nina maumivu ya tumbo? Is due to the presence of the nociceptors or pain receptors which is found within your stomach. it detects there is a presence of a problem within the body. So the problem, it acts as a stimuli. Thereafter, it provides appropriate response by taking you into hospital so that it will provide appropriate tunasema kwamba by providing you appropriate drugs so that it can cure your problem. And not only that, the stomach pain, and also we have a blood pressure change stimuli. Blood pressure change stimuli that is found within your blood. That is the receptor detecting there is a low pressure within your blood. So thereafter, what next now? Ndipo hapa mtu anachukuliwa anapelekwa hospitali for that, so that anaweza akapatiwa matibabu for that problem. So now we can say that we have this blood pressure change a stimuli, hiyo ina detect the presence of pressure receptor. Kama pressure ya damu inakuwa chini au pressure ya damu inakuwa juu au iko normal, this ambayo tunaita baroreceptors will detect the presence of the pressure change within the blood. So my student, now we have seen briefly introduction of the classification of the sensory receptors based on the stimuli that they detect. And we have seen that we have almost 3. We have finished looking on the interoreceptor. So those kinds, types that remain, we're going to discuss later on the next session. So by saying so, and this marks the end of our today's session. So thank you and have a nice moment.